this is not a joke, this is a serious problem. It's not a rare disease, it's a common disease, and it's going to become increasingly common as the population ages. And while most of the other chronic diseases are going down in frequency, this really stands out as one of the two that's growing very, very rapidly.
There's 4 million people with Alzheimer's today in this country. In 20 years it'll be at least double that. And our company, like many companies, is full of a generation of baby boomers who are facing this challenge.
People are under the impression you have to be a senior to get Alzheimer's, and they don't understand Alzheimer's. They don't understand dementia. They just think it's a little forgetfulness, maybe should eat better, you know. It's just a lack of education.
The most common question I get asked is, does my mother have dementia or Alzheimer's disease? So part of my task is education. Dementia is a general term, and Alzheimer's disease is a specific disease that is a dementia. The first major sign of Alzheimer's disease is memory loss. The second is difficulty performing task, familiar task. A third, there's often a language disturbance, misusing words. Fourth, disorientation to time and place. Fifth, problems with judgment and reasoning. Another is difficulties with abstractions or concept thinking. Another is misplacing objects. There may be a change in personality. Some people have a change in mood. And finally, there's often a loss of initiative.
When I took care of my aunt, and I read one of the magazines, she already had 7 of the 10 warning signs. And immediately I took him to the doctor. That's what I tell people. If you notice something is not right, take him to the doctor to find out, you know, what the problem is. I didn't even know I was a caregiver until I came to the association, because I already took care of my mom.
I am like a stay-at-home mom. I take my mom to school, then I have a few hours free, then I pick my mom up from school, then I have my mom to take care of, and that's my job. That's what I do full time.
The hardest thing to do is to engage a caregiver to take care of himself or herself. It's absolutely the hardest part of this process.
The first year that Charles was ill, I got very sick, very, very sick, just from taking care of him and taking care of Lindsay. And again, I actually took some time off. I had to call my mom to come and stay with us because I was so sick. And even at that, there was so much guilt. You don't understand until you've lived it. Everything has changed.
I basically help my mom take care of my dad. I've been doing it since I was about 8 years old. I'd help him get dressed, I'd cook him meals, and I'd turn on the TV, put his seatbelt on. Hold on to the walker, be very careful, okay?
My life revolves around my mother. I think about her 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even if I'm not with her. When I was told that I had to quit work, that was probably one of the hardest days for me. That was my life, that was my freedom, and for me to stay home for something I didn't know about. I knew nothing about this disease. I didn't know what I could do.
It's a human cost to some extent, and people being out of work, missing work to provide care. I can't tell you how many times I flew across the country to spend time with my dad.
It really is a labor of love. It's exhausting emotionally and physically, and very often the person who's the caregiver ends up being a patient as well because of the demands that are made on them.
It's very important that people begin to get out there and look in their community and ask questions. Long gone are the days where family members do it all by themselves.
First and foremost, there's the Alzheimer's Association. And let me speak in broad terms. The Alzheimer's Association just has a vast array of knowledge as well as people. And even on the brochures, there's a 24-hour hotline. I checked it out. It works. So the Alzheimer's Association should be at the foundation.
We were able to recognize the large Spanish-speaking population and start a program that would help them. From that, we went into the Asian Pacific Islander, we went to the African American communities, and all of these things happened because people began to know what Alzheimer's is.
When we talk to a caller about taking care of themselves, one of the things that we sometimes offer is the fact that we here at the association do offer one-on-one counseling, and that we do have the ability to be able to connect that person, that caller, with a care consultant who can help them to work through some issues and do some care planning.
It's very important to have this daycare center for the caregivers. It gives us an opportunity to have a break if we're still working, or if we have children to take care of, or if we just need to do things for ourselves.
What caregivers tell us is their loved ones get up in the morning and they have something to do, a place to be, and it makes a tremendous difference psychologically in their lives.
Support groups was my salvation. Without them, I don't know what I would have done. They told me what to expect, how to live in her world, how to accept what was going on with her.
Well, I think, again, first finding the support group that I found through the Alzheimer's Association was just, it was a gift from God, because it was just so great to be able to talk to other people and see what their experiences were, and just know that I wasn't alone in this.
There's a powerful lesson for the business community when it comes to Alzheimer's disease. We can either pay now or pay later. We know that the human cost and the financial cost is significant, and it's going to get larger. So it makes sense for us in the business community to provide support for our team members who are going through this, to write checks to the Alzheimer's Association and others who are fighting this terrible disease.
There's been certainly some hope in terms of new research. Now, certainly we've been going through this for many, many years in terms of medications. But we're always searching for new medications, new entries into the disease process. There's hope. There's definitely hope.
Even though Charles has Alzheimer's and such, and we're still okay. We're okay.
Finally.